We are live. Hi, you guys. I'm super excited to be here today on this channel with Janet, who's originally from the Philippines, you guys, and she has been teaching English and she's currently living in Turkey. So I thought it would be great to do a cultural interview with her because I don't know a whole lot about the Philippines. I know some about Turkey, but I would love to hear your experience in Turkey and just great tips as well for language learning. So welcome, Janet. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me in your
Yeah.
channel. It's my pleasure. Yes. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask them. And I always love to know where you guys are watching from. So tell me where you guys are watching from. You're so welcome with us here today. So I would love if you could introduce yourself, Janet. Just tell a little bit about who you are and what you do, and we'll go from there.
Yes. So I'm Janet. My students call me teacher Janet generally. And I create contents on YouTube, and my YouTube channel is English Shera. Yeah.
How did you come up
And
with that name?
actually, in Spanish, I think it's the same, even in Portuguese. In the Philippines, a female person who can speak English is Englishera. If it's a male person, it's Englishero.
Oh,
Similar.
okay. That's really
Yeah,
cool. Very cool.
that's where I got it. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm an EFL teacher. I teach English as a foreign language. And
Mm-hmm.
I got a TESOL certificate for that. I also coach test takers for the IELTS. So I
Okay.
train students for the
Yeah,
IELTS test.
that's amazing. I
Yeah.
know a lot of people take the IELTS test because it's a requirement to get
Right.
a job in a lot of places. So
Right.
that's great.
Yes. And I'm currently here in Turkey and I'm married to
Mm-hmm.
my Turkish husband. So,
Okay, so that's how
yeah.
you got to Turkey.
Right.
How did you meet your husband?
We met in the Philippines. Yeah.
Okay. Why was he there in the Philippines?
He was there because he needs to study something.
Okay.
He needs to like a short course.
Mm-hmm.
And in that same school, we just, you know,
Fell in love at school. That's
all right.
amazing.
Yeah, that's how it
That's,
goes.
yeah. Wow. And so, how long have you been living in Turkey?
I've been living here for like one and a half years.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm originally from China. I actually worked there,
Wow. Okay.
and I just came here for my engagement ceremony during the
Okay.
Chinese New Year because it's vacation. So okay, I grabbed
Wow.
the opportunity to go to Turkey because it's a long holiday.
Yeah.
But I'm from Wuhan, and like
Uh-huh.
3 days after I left Wuhan, they quarantined the entire city. So I couldn't go
Wow.
back at all.
Wow. So, do you want to go back to China then?
Actually, um, I left my job already, but
Okay.
my husband still works for a Chinese US company.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're still affiliated to China, and there's still a chance to go back there.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Hi, you guys. I see people from Brazil and Turkey that are here. The meaning of my name, Camille. So it just says this name is French. I don't think there's anything super significant about my name, but if you find something, let me know. And someone's asking, do you both miss your childhood? I
Yes,
You miss your childhood?
of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like, yeah, your childhood, everything's a lot simpler because you don't
Hmm.
think of all the things and you don't have all the
Right.
responsibilities that you would have as an adult. But
Hmm.
I like the season of life I'm in now with my children. So I
Right.
have three children. You kind of get to live through them as well, the
Right.
play, discover the wonder of things as well.
Right. And you bring
Yeah.
them up and you see them growing, right? So it's
Yeah.
really nice to see, right, how they
Mm-hmm.
grow as well.
Mm-hmm. Where did you grow up then?
I grew up in the Philippines. Yes.
Okay. And were you born? Where were you born?
I was born in inside the capital. I mean, not the
Okay.
capital, but like it's a big city close to the
Yeah.
capital of the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm technically a city girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I grew up in a multi generational family. It's a really, really common in the Philippines.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's cool. So that means you guys are all together in one place, one
right.
house.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And what do you think about the most when you think about the Philippines? What do you remember?
The weather. It's
Okay.
tropical.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm not
Yeah.
really used to snow, winter. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's not for me. So like
Yeah.
when it's tropical weather, I could wear what I want to wear, like that,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel more active when
Yeah.
the weather is quite sunny. It's hot
Yeah.
because that's
Yeah.
how I grew up.
Yeah. What do you miss most about there besides the weather?
The weather, of course, the food,
Mm-hmm.
um, the people. What else? Not the traffic jam and not the
No.
long lines.
Okay. Okay.
Some places that I used to visit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What can you tell me about the food in the Philippines? I don't know much at all. I've never traveled to that
the
part of the
food
world.
in the Philippines actually it's got a touch of Spanish culture because we've been
Okay.
colonized by Spaniards for like 300 years. So
Mm-hmm.
we owe a lot of our identity from
Yeah.
Spanish
Wow.
colonization. So
Wow.
the food that we have are influenced by Spanish. We've got some food that are um, Spanish Spanish type, like
Mm-hmm.
paella. Paella.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that. Because
Paella,
we're
the rice and
paella
yeah,
seafood.
seafood. Yeah.
Right, because
Okay. That's so
Philippines has
interesting.
got lots of islands.
Mm-hmm.
We eat food that are like seafood.
Yeah.
Fish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, some savory food as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Philippines is rich in coconut. We are known for coconut.
Okay.
We've got lots of coconut trees. So
Yeah.
we've got some dishes that have coconut milk in it.
Mm-hmm. I
Yes, like
love coconut milk. I cook with coconut milk a
mm-hmm.
lot. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's like sweet and salty at the same time.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah,
good. Do you
it's
know
very
how to
fun.
cook?
Yeah. I learned
Yeah.
how to cook when I lived alone in China. That's the
Okay.
time.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. And what do you like most about Turkey and where you live now?
I actually live in a small city called Denizli. It's
Okay.
somewhere near Greece, that
Mm-hmm.
part.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about here is the weather is so nice. Um, it's not polluted. You cannot see any smoke. You can see
Okay.
trees around,
So it's
and
clean.
it's really clean.
Yeah.
There are parks around. Like in our this apartment, there are like
Mm-hmm.
3 parks around.
Wow.
Where you can just go picnic anytime.
Yeah. That is
Yes,
nice.
people are so amiable,
Mm.
welcoming. They really
Mm-hmm.
love inviting people, and they really love serving people.
Yeah.
Like when they invite you, they prepare like a banquet like that.
Wow.
That's how special
Yeah.
you are. Yeah,
Yeah. And I think family is really important as well in Turkish culture.
right. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Family is really
Mm-hmm.
important. They really cultivate the family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What else? I love eating. I love Turkish food.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite?
Anything kebab.
Okay. Yes. Yes. I
Yes.
remember trying the Turkish kebab. I only went one
Hmm.
time, but it was good. Yeah.
Yes. Mostly, we do homemade food here.
Okay.
As compared to the Philippines, because like Filipinos love going out, love eating out, at the
Mm-hmm.
restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
here, things are homemade.
Yeah.
Yes,
Which
they are
is
not
much
really.
more
Hmm.
nutritious, right? A lot more
Right,
nutritious. Yeah.
right.
So good.
They even make their own chili powder, something like that. Like they dry
Mm-hmm.
some chilies and then they um, pound it. Everything's
Yeah.
fresh and natural.
Wow.
That's what I
So
love about
good.
here.
Yeah, I'm realizing like, oh my goodness, it's lunchtime now, and I always end up talking about food, and I get so hungry on my lives. Yeah. So, okay, can you tell me all of the languages you speak, including your native language?
So yeah, my native language is Filipino. We also
Okay.
call it Tagalog,
Oh yeah.
and
Okay.
yeah, English is Philippines' second language. So
Okay.
most of us, like majority, can really speak English.
Mm-hmm.
I know a little bit Chinese, and I
Yes.
know Turkish. I'm still working on it because I'm trying to be more immersed
Yeah,
with the locals here.
that's
Yeah,
amazing. So four languages then.
yeah,
That's
almost. Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, yeah. So, okay, so you said that in the Philippines, English is like a second language. So, what does that mean? Does that mean that the schools are taught even in English, or are they still taught in Filipino? Or how does that work?
In public schools, English are taught in Filipino. But yeah,
Okay,
like when I grew up, my teachers also speak in English, but
okay.
not as good as what the the English should be, like
Mm-hmm.
what we are thinking about. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's generally taught in Tagalog. In some
Okay.
schools, they teach it in English, like pure
Mm-hmm.
English. There are
Mm-hmm.
some times that you have to just speak. They're like English only policy, like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So like everyone can really speak English. But then again, in the Philippines, people still prefer to speak the native language. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So do you think people are hesitant or shy to actually speak English and practice it?
I couldn't agree more because I think
Okay.
that is one of the problem about Filipino English learners, and
Mm-hmm.
I think Asians generally. I've got
Yeah.
some students from China, from Vietnam. They are hesitant. They are shy to speak English. The main problem is confidence because you
Mm-hmm.
know what?
Mm-hmm.
In the Philippines, like as I grew up.
Yeah.
Um, I want to improve my English, but I lose my confidence because I feel like everyone is guarding my grammar. Like if I'm going to make a
Mm,
mistake, if I'm going to
yeah.
make a pronunciation mistake, I feel attacked or I feel criticized
Okay.
already, like
Okay.
that. So
Wow.
it
Wow.
lowers the confidence.
Yeah. I'm
That's the
curious
problem.
for the people that are here watching. Do you struggle with that same thing? Do you feel like you have confidence when you want to speak English? Write in the comments. And yeah, we have some more questions. Hi from Kurdistan. Hi. And from Panama and China. Hi, you guys. You're so welcome to this live. If you have any questions, feel free to write in the question box. And okay, so somebody was asking, how about your first days in Turkey? So when you first got to Turkey, how did you feel? And then what do we do to celebrate our birthdays?
Oh, I vividly remember the first time I went here. I came here. It was a winter. It's
Mm-hmm.
really, really cold and it's uncomfortable. But I had to
Yeah.
go here because of my engagement ceremony. So like
Mm-hmm.
I feel cold and at the same time.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what I observe is that everything's so clean and people are really
Yeah.
welcoming.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I
Mm-hmm.
felt at home.
Yeah.
Like
It's so
I
good.
didn't feel like, okay, foreigner,
Yeah.
like they don't
Mm-hmm.
interact with those people, but then they are amiable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's so
people
good.
generally.
Yeah, that's really good.
All right.
And what do you do to celebrate your birthday? That's an interesting question.
Oh well, I'll tell you something. In the Philippines, we're really fond of celebrations, and
Mm-hmm.
we are living in a three generational family, so like everyone's there,
Mm-hmm.
and every birthday celebration there is karaoke. It's like mandatory or something.
No way. That is
It's like it's a must.
hilarious. Wow. Wow.
Karaoke. That's
Do you like
essential.
karaoke
I
or
love singing.
okay, so
Yeah,
cool.
and I
That's
think
so good.
most Filipinos can really sing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so interesting. So for me, I rarely have a party. I don't really like celebrating my birthday. I don't love getting older every year. So it'll just be me and my family, or me and my husband, or it'll just be simple. Like we'll go out to my favorite restaurant, or I'll buy myself something new. And this year I'll
Right.
be celebrating in Panama, which will be fun because my birthday's actually
Oh,
soon. It's in like a week.
advance happy
So
birthday.
thank you. Thank you. So it's always fun to celebrate in a new country and try
Right.
something new. Somebody's
Right.
also asking, have you been able to visit any cool spots in Turkey?
Yes, I've been traveling here.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Istanbul. There are like
Okay.
a lot of touristic spots in there,
Yeah.
historical sites.
Mm-hmm.
In my city, the famous one is the Cotton Castle or the Pamukkale.
Okay.
It's like travertines.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of that, it's actually a part of Hierapolis, if you're familiar with that.
Okay.
Hierapolis is an ancient city,
Okay.
a Roman
Okay.
city, I suppose.
Yeah. So interesting. So you have
And
gotten to see some of Turkey then.
yes, Laodicea,
Mm-hmm.
Ephesus is also here.
Oh, yeah. Ephesus, we say.
Yes,
Yeah.
Ephesus.
Oh, that's
Okay.
really cool. That's really
We
cool.
I've been I like was that historical places, historical
Mm-hmm.
sites. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Turkey
Me
has lots
too.
of them.
Yeah. That's awesome. And how was your experience in China? Lynn is wanting to know.
My experience in China, it's how could I say it? Life in China is fast, I can
Okay.
say.
Okay.
Yes, because in the Philippines life is slow. So
Okay.
when I
Island
came to
life, right?
right, because when
Yeah.
I went to China, everything's like fast. The trains, the subways, the food deliveries, like
Wow. Wow.
cashless. You just need your
Mm-hmm.
phone and you just need to scan everything. You know,
Wow. Wow. So very
yeah,
modern and very,
very modern.
hey, I've
Yes,
never been
really
to
fast.
China. Yeah.
Yes, Chinese culture is really strong. The tradition. Um,
Hmm.
what else? Food.
Yeah.
Spicy.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
And do you like spicy food?
I eat spicy food, but if it's too spicy, I can't stand
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the same. I like a little spice, but too much, it's too much.
All right. You're
Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
Yeah. Generally, my experience in China is awesome. Even people
Hmm.
are
Hmm.
also amiable. It's just that you really have to know how to talk to them.
Yeah.
Yes. How
Yeah.
to
Okay.
banter, how to
Yeah.
negotiate. You know.
Yes, yes, for sure. I feel
Yes.
like that's true for a lot of countries.
All
Learning the
right.
way to talk to the people,
Mm-hmm.
negotiating is important. A guy actually told us here in Panama, he's like, you have to negotiate prices. Americans just pay what they ask for, but you have to negotiate.
Right. Especially if you're a
Yeah.
foreigner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Hi, Tommy from Brazil. The last festival you have celebrated.
The last festival is a religious festival and it's called
Hmm.
the Eid Adha.
Is it
Yeah.
right now going on, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Until Friday. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
So we just I haven't seen this one because in the
Mm-hmm.
Philippines
Mm-hmm.
majority of people are Christians. So like here I really saw how they slaughter the animal, and the way they clean
Wow.
it, it's super clean.
Okay.
And like
So
how
interesting.
they share the beef and how
Mm-hmm.
they share it to poor people as well. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's something that I found really amazing because I didn't grow up seeing those things, and for me it's really
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Totally. So are you a Christian then, or are you a Muslim, or do you have a certain belief?
I do. I am a Muslim now.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you married a Muslim,
All
a guy
right.
from Turkey. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So then everything's new for you, I'm sure. All of
Yeah, yeah.
these celebrations and everything going
Mm-hmm.
on.
All
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Wow. For me, I celebrated on Sunday here in Panama. It was called Dia de los Niños, so which is like Children's Day. So my family took a ferry and went to an island, and with our kids, and there were just a ton of people out on the island with their families hanging out. They most of them had children,
All
so
right.
that's what it was for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What? Okay. May I ask, have you ever experienced culture shock? That's a good question.
Culture shock. For
Hmm.
me, yes.
Yeah. Do you
I
have
think
anything specific?
anything specific. I think it's about family, like family here in Turkey, especially
Hmm. Hmm.
because after my wedding, I thought we would be able to go back to China, but we had to like stay in my husband with my husband's family. And
Okay.
like the way the family um how to say it, the way they treat each other is so different from the way um Filipino families treat each other. Here,
Okay.
like their pastime is talking.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
they talk until they go deeper,
Yeah.
and I'm not used to it like that.
Okay.
So like I
Okay.
had to just sit there and listen to them, and they're talking in Turkish, and that time I don't know Turkish. So like
Okay. Yeah.
okay, how can I react, or how can I shall I
Mm-hmm.
laugh when they laugh, or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know,
What do I do? Yeah. Totally.
yeah, that's one thing. And
Yeah.
when it comes to jokes, some Turkish
Mm-hmm.
people they just crack a joke that you don't know if it's a joke or not, but
Oh
I don't know
no.
if I'm gonna laugh or not.
You're like, is it
Yeah,
okay to laugh right now? Oh
right.
no.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
And recently I learned something because like I always hear that whenever my husband's dad meets someone like
Mm-hmm.
his dad's friend, we call them uncle,
Okay.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But recently I was in another city with my dad-in-law's friends,
Mm-hmm.
and I called someone an uncle,
Mm-hmm.
but I think he felt offended
Okay.
because, and then I learned that some people here it's okay for them, but for some people they would feel offended because it would be like telling that they're old, like that.
Okay.
You should call them a
Interesting.
brother, something like that.
Okay. So interesting. It's always
Yeah,
a learning curve when you're in a country that's not your own, for
right.
sure. I've had
Yeah.
culture shock. I would say my biggest culture shock was probably Asia. Like I lived in Taiwan for 3 months and India for
Mm,
3 months. And in both of those places, the language is so different from my own. I didn't speak any foreign languages at the time. And so it was also new. And I think the amount of people was the shocking thing. Just so many
right.
people, the food's different, everything's just different. So you're just like looking around like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? Where am I going? But from
Right.
those experiences, we grow and we learn and we adapt, hopefully. So I
Yes.
think culture shock is a normal thing. I think you
Right.
can't not have it if you've never
Mm-hmm.
experienced that culture before. So
Right.
yeah. Oh, hi. Hi from India. Hello. Somebody asked, what do you think killing animals is right to eat food? I I don't have a super strong opinion on that. I'm a vegetarian myself, more because I don't really enjoy eating meat. It's not like a pleasant experience for me, but my family eats it. So I don't know if you have an opinion on that or not.
I also don't know, but because we
Yeah.
generally eat meat, and
Uh-huh.
it's a part of our cuisine. It's a part of our table, right?
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
at that time when I saw how they slaughter animals, it was a little
Mm-hmm.
awful. But then again,
Mm-hmm.
the what's that? The essence of
Mm-hmm.
doing that, it's not
Yeah.
because to kill them, but to feed yourself, to share
Yeah.
with other people too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's
Mm-hmm.
how I found. I mean, that way.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Hi, you guys. Danielle, where are you from in South America? And I'm so glad that these videos are helping. They are a great practice for listening.
Right.
Absolutely. Oi, Juliana from Brazil. Okay, Janvi, you asked, what is the most expensive gift you have ever gifted in your life? So that means what have you given to somebody that's the most expensive? When you say gifted, so I'm thinking, what is the most expensive thing I've given somebody? That's a tough
Expensive
question.
gift.
I
Me
know.
too. Like it takes time to think.
Yeah. I mean, the most expensive gift I've ever received, I think, would be my engagement ring.
Mhm.
You know. Oh, gifted. So I gave my husband his MacBook that I'm doing this video call on, and that was very
Mhm.
expensive. Yes.
It is
So that would be like the
expensive.
most expensive gift I've ever given, I think. Yeah.
The gift I've ever given, mm, I'm not pretty sure. I'm not really into expensive stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Same.
I feel like I'm gonna break them
Yeah.
anytime.
Yes.
And the cost,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I'm not really sure. Probably my husband's shoes, and
Yeah.
that's not like super expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Oh, Ecuador. That's so cool. I've never been to Ecuador, but it's on the list. Got to get there.
All right.
What type of weather do you like most? And then we can transition, I think, into language stuff for the rest of our life.
Sure.
Just like
Mm-hmm.
tips for learning, struggles that you think people have, how to overcome them, all of those things. So, you guys will answer the weather. I like spring weather the best, where it's not too hot or too cold, or fall. Spring, fall are my favorite seasons. What about you?
I do like spring season too,
Yeah.
but I'm a tropical girl, so I really like sun kissed. My skin
Yeah.
tan.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Summer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
summer.
That's good. Okay, if you guys have any language learning questions, we're going to transition into that. But I'm first going to ask you, how did you get into teaching and creating online content? And we'll go from there.
All right. How did I get into
Get into
teaching?
teaching.
Um,
Yeah.
uh, in my university, I studied English as my major,
Mm-hmm.
and I worked as a part-time online English teacher for Koreans when I was
Okay.
in my second year in college. So like
Mm-hmm.
daytime I study and nighttime I work. So like
Wow.
how that's how I started being exposed to teaching. So
Yeah.
I used to teach Koreans. Then after that, after graduation,
Mm-hmm.
I decided to, because I really love media. I wanted
Yeah.
to be a radio jock, but I think that's
Okay.
not really for me. So I said, okay, why not try sending CVs to schools or language centers? Then I
Mm-hmm.
found a language center that really um, caters English as a foreign language. So like foreigners who go to the Philippines for vacation or for
Mm-hmm.
studying. So that's who they
Okay.
cater. So it's like a
Okay.
one-on-one class. So that's the
Yeah.
time I got into teaching. Yes,
Yeah.
so that time I got exposed to different nationalities and
Mm-hmm.
how to
Mm-hmm.
handle culture at the same time
Yeah.
teaching
Yeah.
English.
Totally. What are
Right.
some of your top tips for language learning? Because you speak four, so you've had to study, you've had to learn. What would be some of your top tips you would give?
Top tips basically include English in your routine. I mean, include the language in your routine. I would
Yeah,
say,
that's
based
good.
on my experience, that's how I got fluent in English. I really immersed myself,
Mm-hmm.
listening. I
Mm-hmm.
love English songs, so
Yeah.
I love singing. So
Yes.
I really listen to English songs, and
Mm-hmm.
with that, I learned how varied English is, how
Yeah,
rap singers pronounce words differently as
that's true.
compared to other singers. And that's
Yeah.
what I observe. And I sing English to help
Mm-hmm.
me put English in my mouth.
Yeah, that's really
And
good.
yeah, what else do I do? I used to talk to myself in front of the mirror, when I'm alone.
That's good. That's
Yes,
good.
it
Yeah.
helps me think in English. That's why
Yeah.
I do that. Yes,
Because the more you think in the language, the more you're able to produce in that language.
right.
Yeah.
That's
It first
true.
starts with thinking and then speaking after.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Um, I generally immerse myself in the language. Right now,
Yeah.
I'm learning Turkish, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to any language schools, or I'm not learning any proper Turkish courses like that.
Okay.
I just learn it by listening to how people talk, what kind of
Yeah.
expressions they use in the
Mm-hmm.
conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Then, when I get into a conversation, I will use those expressions.
Yeah. What have
Yeah.
been some of your biggest obstacles when it comes to learning the Turkish language?
Turkish is an agglutinating language. So, like one word, and they put different
Yes. So then a word's
things.
like this long off the
And it
screen.
will
Yeah.
become long. And that is
Yeah.
the main obstacle. That's a struggle I really
Mm-hmm.
faced.
Mm-hmm.
And word order,
Yeah.
you know, in
Mm-hmm.
English, it's like subject, object, verb, a subject, verb, object. In Turkish, it's subject, object, verb, like that.
Okay. Okay. So
So,
that
yeah,
could be a little confusing.
right. And
Yeah.
Turkish is a rich language, like, to
Mm-hmm.
the point
Mm-hmm.
that they call each little thing there's a name in it. So it's like a
Wow.
vocabulary.
Wow. Okay. Okay. That is a lot. That could be
Right.
overwhelming. Yeah.
It is, but step by step.
And you mentioned that in the Philippines, a lot of people, you learn English, but then you don't produce it. You don't really speak it. People are afraid of making mistakes. What advice would you give for people who are afraid to speak English? How would you help
Um,
them?
right. Based on my first-hand experience, I was also afraid to speak English. Like when some people talk to me in English, I just step back because I'm really afraid.
Yeah.
Start with yourself. Yeah.
Mm.
Start with
Mm-hmm.
yourself and push yourself and motivate yourself that
Mm-hmm.
if you really want to improve your English, you should not listen to grammar trolls. You should
Yeah.
not listen to other people because they will really hurt, like a hurdle, to your
Mm-hmm.
improvement.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it really starts with yourself. If you feel afraid, then take a step to what
Mm-hmm.
you really want to improve. And that's
Yeah.
what I did.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Mm-hmm.
easy to learn a language in a country where, you're not exposed and you're not producing the language. So you cannot really practice it. So it
Yeah.
really starts with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Take
Mm-hmm.
one step at a time
Yeah.
and then do things that work for you.
Yeah.
Find some partners to practice with,
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
build up your confidence. I see
Mhm.
lots of people on Facebook, they create groups,
Yeah.
to help each other speak
Yeah.
English,
Yeah.
and to think
Mhm.
that people right now are at home most
Mhm.
of the time, right?
Yeah.
So, use social media to connect to people and practice your English. Use
Mhm.
your smartphone smartly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good. That's good because
right,
Juliana, she just asked that question. How can I improve my speaking skill if I don't have anyone near me who speaks English or could correct me? She's studying on her own, which amazing, Juliana, that you're studying on your own. I think that's so good. I think, like you said, speaking by yourself in the mirror, speaking
all
out
right.
loud, singing songs, all
Mm-hmm.
of those things. And then, like you said as well, just finding online partners. That's how
Mm-hmm.
I have learned all of the languages that I speak, really, besides Spanish, was online people for Portuguese, Italian, and now French.
All
Without
right.
them, I feel like I would have never made the progress that I've made, and it's through online apps.
Right.
So it's possible. I think it may be harder to find a native English speaker because English, everyone wants to learn English.
Right.
But even somebody that speaks it that you could practice with, maybe they couldn't correct your mistakes, but at least you would be practicing and maybe even getting over your fear of making mistakes.
Right.
So I always tell people just try to find people that are learning English as a second language to practice with them. It's better than nothing at all.
Right.
Do you have anything you would want to add to that?
Oh, well, that's true. Actually, one way to really produce the language is to really interact with it. Speaking and writing as well, and
Mm-hmm.
connect to people. And there are even apps that are helpful as well.
Yeah.
To practice English, to practice listening, to practice speaking. Even
Mm-hmm.
reading.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
you can
totally.
develop your reading and listening skills, because that's where you receive the language, and
Mm-hmm.
then try to produce it through speaking, through writing. If you've got journals,
Mm-hmm.
write
Mm-hmm.
your thoughts in there, and
Yeah.
then try to practice it, in speaking.
Mm-hmm.
If you are
Mm-hmm.
studying English on your own, find some ways to help you, things that are suitable to
Yeah.
your needs, to what you want to do, you
Mm-hmm.
know
Mm-hmm. Totally.
right.
I also tell people about the shadowing technique, which is one of my favorite
Mm-hmm.
ways to help people. If you're alone, take your favorite show that has subtitles in that language, put the subtitles on, listen to the character, and just try to speak out. It's tiring. So I tell people to do it for 1 minute a day, even, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll practice 1 minute a day of speaking. And it's a good
Right.
way to grow as well, because the more you can speak out loud, even if you're by yourself, the more natural it will be when you're actually with somebody face to face or
Right.
virtual like we are now as well.
Right.
Oh, that's a really good question, Danielle. How may I ask how you can motivate yourself to learn many languages? It's not easy to learn after some age. You were able to do it. It's amazing. Can you give me more ideas? Yeah, I think I have a gift of being naturally motivated. It's become my passion. But with Spanish, it wasn't really. It wasn't until I started learning Portuguese, I think 2 years ago, that I'm like, I'm addicted to language learning. And so I want to keep going with it. I think it's motivating when you see progress. And if you're not
Mm-hmm.
seeing progress, then it's hard because you just want to quit. I don't know if you
Right.
can relate to that. So I think to find motivation within yourself, why are you trying to learn? Why are you trying to learn English or whatever language you're wanting to learn? Find your why and write it down, and then
Mm-hmm.
reward yourself. Tell yourself, okay, in 1 year I'm going to travel to this country that speaks this language, or I don't know, find ways to reward yourself that make it worth it, and celebrate in little ways your successes along the way as well. And I don't know, do you have motivation stories as well, Janet, that you would want
Yes.
to share,
Yes.
or ways people can motivate themselves.
Yeah, right. Language learning really needs motivation. That is
Hmm.
one of the ingredients, to
Yeah, a
really
very
learn a
important one.
language.
Yes,
Because
yes.
some people, they just motivated at first, and then they just leave their work half baked, like
Yeah.
after quite some time, they quit.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
motivation, determination to continue, that is
Yeah.
something. If you see some progress when it comes to speaking, or you're learning like 5 vocabularies a day,
Hmm.
5 English words a day is
Yeah.
still good.
Yeah.
It's still five,
Hmm.
words per day. And
Yeah.
try to practice it. If you see some improvements, keep going. That's what I
Hmm.
do personally when
Hmm.
I learn new expressions, and then
Yeah.
I use that. I really have to use it because I know that I might forget it.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
that's how it goes. It starts within yourself,
Yeah, that's
right?
really good. And being around people that are motivated. If you know people that are motivated, if you listen to people that
Mm-hmm.
speak on motivation, if you see other
Mm-hmm.
people having success, that sometimes is enough to motivate you as well.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm thinking too, like setting, like you said, 5 words a day. Right now, I have a French goal of 1 phone call a day in French. And so I've been studying French now for 10 months, and it's the hardest out of the Romance languages.
Impressive. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I made this like commitment live on my Instagram with a French teacher. She's like, Camille, what goals do you have for French, over the summer? And so I'm like, okay, a call a day. And then I want to finish this book I'm reading in French. Even if I read like 1 page a day, I'll eventually finish the book, and that's
Right.
like motivating for me. Wow, I read a whole book in French. And
Right.
it's motivating because I had a call yesterday with my French friend, and he was like, oh my gosh, Camille, your French has gotten so much better, because I hadn't talked to him in about a month or so. And that was motivating. I'm like, okay, I'll keep going. So I feel like getting little feedback from people, hearing that you're doing a good job can be motivating too, but you have to definitely put yourself out there and try.
Right. Mm-mm, that's true.
Yeah. But it's a really good question. I think keep going. If you need a break, just don't take a super long one. I took a 9-month break with Italian. I know,
Oh
a
yeah.
very long break, very
Mm-hmm.
long. But I think if you can just take a short break and just refocus, do something else during the week, you take a break and then go back to it, change it up, do something different. And
Mm-hmm.
I think finding what you like is going to be key
Right.
too. Finding a movie that you love, a series, if you can become addicted
Mm-hmm.
to a series, a really good book, talking with a person, it's motivating because you
Right.
like that thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Like putting
Hmm.
your the language in your hobbies or so.
Yes. Yes. Or a good podcast, any of those
Mm-hmm.
things. Yeah.
Right.
What would you say as a teacher are some of the top mistakes that you see people making continuously?
As a teacher, mistakes that I usually see from my
Hmm.
students. I've met a lot of nationalities. I've even met some Brazilians, Argentinians, or whoever.
Yeah.
Common mistake is the verb use in a
Mm-hmm.
sentence like that.
Yes.
She walks.
Yes.
That's a
Yes.
really mistake, and
Hmm.
sometimes it becomes fossilized, and becomes their habit. Like
Yes.
when
Yes.
it's not easy to rectify the mistake.
Yeah.
That one, a very common mistake.
Hmm.
Pronunciation.
Hmm.
Some sounds in
Hmm.
English are not in their native language, so they
Yes.
have a hard time pronouncing some um, words in English, like one letter, a lot of
Hmm.
sounds in English,
Yes,
right?
I'm sorry about that. It's so true. So true. I have more
Right.
sympathy for people now that I'm learning French, because French is not a phonetic language either.
Mhm.
Just like English, you don't pronounce things how you would think, like in Spanish you do or Italian you do. And so I'm like, oh my goodness, English doesn't make sense sometimes. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, pronunciation, generally grammar, word order
Hmm.
as well. Um,
Yes.
Especially those who are thinking in their native language and translating it to English,
Hmm.
they tend
Hmm.
to really commit mistakes when it comes to word order
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
what's that, numbers, like
Okay.
nouns, like two person or two egg,
Oh
something like that.
yeah. Yes. Yes. I hear that a lot
Yeah,
too.
the
Yes. Uh-huh.
numbers, they
Hmm.
really have a hard time with those. Generally, those
Hmm.
mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah. And what would be just something that you would tell a language learner? How would you help them advance from maybe an intermediate to an advanced level in English? Because that's a lot harder. It's easier
Mm-hmm.
to go from beginner to intermediate and kind of stay there,
Right.
but to get to an advanced level like you have, where you can go live and converse in the language and feel confident, what would be your best tips to get there?
Really practice.
Okay.
Practice, practice, practice. That is
Yeah.
something.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
Mm-hmm.
my students are now intermediate and going to advanced. And it's good that you
Yes.
mentioned that because,
Yeah.
um, like, it's not easy for them to go advanced
Mm-hmm.
because,
Mm-hmm.
there are still some words in intermediate and even basic that are new to them,
Yeah.
and once they go advanced, they are more shocked about, okay, there's this basic English expression I don't understand, and then there's like more advanced, I didn't catch that, something like
Mm-hmm.
different ways to
Yeah.
say some expressions.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so one advice that I always give is to just practice it, really expose yourself, you
Mm-hmm.
know um,
Mm-hmm.
read some English articles, there are more advanced
Yeah.
words in there.
Yes. Yes.
Right. Yes.
Are you?
Read news. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's really good. How important do you think it is to like read when you're trying to learn a language? Is that important? An
It's
important
really
part?
important.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
For me,
Yeah.
as I learn English, I really read a lot so I
Mm-hmm.
can really enrich my vocabulary. I
Yes.
can really be exposed to the language.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny part is when I learn Turkish, I start with reading Turkish children's books.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yes.
great. Yeah, you have to start somewhere. You have to start, yeah, with the basics.
Yeah,
That's
there are
good.
like libraries here that are just like big libraries, and they can just
Mm-hmm.
enter there and just borrow a book. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm normally going to straight to the children's section, so I can find
Yeah.
some books that are easy for me to
Yes.
understand. And at the
Yes.
same time, after reading that, I would like ask my mother-in-law about this word or my sister-in-law
Mm-hmm.
about this word,
Mm-hmm.
and we start
Yeah.
practicing that.
Yeah. That's
So
so
that's how
good.
important reading is. You
Yeah.
receive the language, and
Mm-hmm.
after reading, you will learn something. Then that's the time that you apply it.
Yeah. I think reading can help take your English to the next level. Like if your book
Right,
is more advanced because you learn so much vocab, so many
right,
things that you didn't know. And then depending on the genre of the book, you can learn
right.
tons of phrasal verbs, tons of expressions, things like that as well.
Yes,
So that's good. We have some questions coming in. Oh my goodness, time flies on lives. It's already been almost 50 minutes. I
right.
was like, I told Janet, it'll just be about 45 minutes, but with questions, sometimes it's longer. Sim, eu falo português, Juliana. I don't think you speak Portuguese though, right, Janet?
No.
Okay. And this is a good question. So, how important is it to learn the native accent in English?
How important it is. It's when you start learning English, you will not really start learning the accent, right? Or you're not really
Yeah,
start learning the native accent. What you're gonna
yeah.
start with is how you can just communicate and how
Mm-hmm.
you can just
Mm-hmm.
talk to people,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
convey the message and understand
Yes.
them.
Yeah.
And later on, when you're more intermediate or advanced, then that's a time that what is something that I still need to work on. Maybe my grammar is
Mm-hmm.
already okay, but my
Mm-hmm.
pronunciation is still like my first language accent, like that.
Yeah.
Then that's the
Yeah.
time that you can step up, you know,
Mm-hmm.
learning
Mm-hmm.
accent.
Yeah. So I would say that the goal for me in language learning isn't to have the best accent, because I know that I
Right.
have one in all the languages I speak. You can't avoid it. Is to
Mm-hmm.
communicate, is to be understood, and it's for people to understand me. So
Right.
you can always work on improving your accent though. So right now I know that in French I don't have the greatest R sound since the beginning, but it's getting better.
Oh, it's a
So
plural tell,
accent's
right?
important. Yeah. Yes, it is. Exactly. So I think don't stress on trying to have the perfect accent. That shouldn't be your focus. Your focus should
Mm-hmm.
be communicating and being understood, because
Right.
that's what language is about. We'll all have accents. Oi, oi, hi, you guys. Thank you for being here. And dear Janet, how did you improve your pronunciation? It seems you're native. Oh, that's a good compliment.
It's a compliment. I'm not a native.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I've mentioned, I wanted to become a radio jock, and I
Mm-hmm.
always listen to the radio, like how radio jocks banter, how
Yeah.
they talk. And
Mm-hmm.
I have a model. I copy her the way she
Mm-hmm.
talks because she has some sweet voice. So
Yeah.
I really start talking like her,
Mm-hmm.
and copy what she says on cue on the radio.
Yes. Yes.
It's just like that. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's how I really improve it. Even when I take a shower, I try to say the same thing that
Yeah.
she says on
Yeah.
air,
Yes.
like
That's
that.
so good. I think
Yes,
that's the best way to improve your accent is by listening to somebody's voice that you like and then trying to imitate how they say it.
right.
And I think it's easier to do phrases versus
Mm-hmm.
words. I was trying to
Yes,
say the word tree in French, just the word tree, and it was so hard. But then when I made a phrase and I said, there are many trees in the forest, it was easier and it helped
right.
me. So I tell people, practice phrases, practice a full sentence, not just one word. It'll help
Yes.
you.
And it
Yeah.
also helps you use it in the context, the
Mm-hmm.
phrases in
Mm-hmm.
context.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, you're from Turkish. Well, she is the one who speaks Turkish, but of course I know merhaba, nasılsın,
Yeah.
Türkiye'yi seviyorum. I know a few, but it's
Very
gonna be
nice.
my next language, so I've gotta
How did
gotta
you learn about
practice.
it?
So I did a live with, I've done a few lives with Turkish, kind of famous Turkish people, I want to say, on Instagram. And they're like, they have big YouTube channels, big Instagrams. And so I learned it to be able to talk to them in the live.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I really like it. It's intriguing. But that's all I know, pretty
All right, I'll
much.
teach you one more word. It's
Okay.
easy. It's samimi.
Samimi? What is that?
It sounds cute, right? It's my favorite
Yeah.
Turkish word. It means sincere.
Okay. What is it again?
Sincere. Samimi.
Samimi.
And it's
Samimi.
easy
Oh,
to remember.
Samimi. That's so cute. I love it. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Oh, he's wondering about you, which you did talk about learning Turkish because you're married to a guy from Turkey, which somebody asked what your husband does, which I don't know. Did you say what your husband does? I can't remember. And I don't know if Danielle's
I
still
think
here.
I didn't mention, but my husband works for like a trading,
Okay.
something like trading, and he is a global sourcing specialist. So he
Okay.
coordinates with other countries trading, packaging, like
Mm-hmm.
shampoo
Mm-hmm.
packaging, glasses,
Okay.
like that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chinese Americans. Now they have a satellite branch in America, in the
Okay.
US. So
Okay.
yeah,
Wow. So interesting. Yeah. Oh, you
that's
are
my
both
husband.
sending me. Boy, that's good. Well, I am going to wrap up this live. We've been here a while. We've covered
Right.
a lot of cultural things. I didn't realize you have a
Right.
lot to share, and this was your
Yeah.
first live. You did an amazing job, and I hope you do a
Thank you.
lot more. I'm sure it would be so interesting. You could go into so many different things because of your experience in the Philippines, in China, now in Turkey, with all the languages you speak. So that's amazing. So be sure to go check out Janet's channel, her YouTube channel, her Instagram. You can learn a lot of English with her as well. And are there any latest like projects that you're working on that you want to share about?
Oh yeah, I would love to. Yes, as I'm still creating some contents like learning English, teaching English, I'm gonna open up a new segment on my channel, and it's gonna be exciting. So it's called English Share Talk. So I talk to some people online, and we're discussing tips about English learning, culture, and
Yeah.
we've got fun conversations in English, so you can just um, watch out for that.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's so great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Janet, for being here. Thank you guys for all of your comments, your feedback. You guys are amazing. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well. And I will see you guys soon in a future
Thank you
video.
so much.
Thank you. Bye. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.